The directors of photography were W. Howard Green of Technicolor and Oscar winner Hal Moore, familiar with the Phantom stage since the late silent days.
Working with Hal Moore was an experience because he was with you when he was behind the camera. He was one of the great, maybe the greatest cameraman at that time.
The incredibly mobile Broadway crane, which Moore had co-developed, provided remarkable views of the auditorium.
Well, the color was so beautiful. The actors looked good, and the wonderful camera work, and the Golitsyn design. He's a great painter.
Art director Alexander Golitsyn redressed the Opera House for Technicolor. Wartime restrictions on studio construction required ingenious use of existing sets. 1925 movie audiences had relied on their local theater's music director to supply the sounds of silence. 1943 audiences were treated to a musical score composed and adapted by Edward Ward.
And the music's important. It was important in the book. The music's very important. Eddie was such a simple man. He was an alcoholic. He had a bag of music, a bag of melodies that he carried around with him. Something for every occasion. Eddie would come in and his hands would shake when he conducted. By God, the music was there.
Because of World War II, it was very difficult to get copyright and performing rights clearances on some of the great operatic works. So they decided, with the exception of Martha by von Flotow, they decided to create operas out of symphonic works that were in public domain. That's why we have Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony as one of the operas, an adaptation by Edward Ward, the musical director.
In the story, the Phantom's masterwork has been composed around a French lullaby that seems curiously more Gaelic than Gallic.
It's a beautiful tune, but I always think of the Kerry dance, that Irish, traditional Irish tune. But if you took out the Irish lilt and played it in a simple melodic line,
Edward Ward wrote an unforgettable romantic concerto for piano and orchestra.
My concerto. Sing, Christine. Sing.
In its spectacle, color, thrills, music, and dramatic intensity, Phantom of the Opera was a popular entertainment for wartime audiences, the equivalent of any legitimate opera of the Gaslight era. An echo from the past, the original Raoul, Norman Carey, visited the set. He seemed pleased to meet his modern counterpart, but it is likely that he had not forgotten the bitter agonies of 1925. Free of the anxieties that had accompanied the silent film, this Phantom was a model of efficient production.
All these people at Universal at that time, it was a family. We knew each other when we came to the set. It was as if we had spent the night together, as if we had lived together in the same house.
There was one family tie that retained a slight kink, the relationship between Christine Dubois and Eric Claudin. This Phantom is a tragic violinist, crippled by arthritis and dismissed from the orchestra.
It's no use, Maestro. Something has happened to the fingers of my left hand.
He lives in poverty, pouring all of his savings into providing lessons for a young singer who knows nothing of her benefactor. Why does he do this?
Isn't it obvious? Claudin probably fell in love with her.
It wasn't obvious in the shooting script. Claudin was her father, a poor violinist who had abandoned his wife and child in pursuit of his muse. Mama Claudin died of grief, and the infant Christine was reared by her aunt. The theme originates in the book, with Christine's affection for her dead father. She believes that Eric's voice is the angel of music, which her father had promised to send from heaven. Unaware of their bond, Christine is polite, but puzzled by this oddly solicitous older man.
Christine. I'm sorry.
The front office at Universal thought they smelled a whiff of incest and severed the family ties.
They were in conflict about whether she was the daughter or whether he was in love with her.
Out went Aunt Madeline's telling of the family secret, which Raoul has sworn never to reveal. To secure money for Christine's lessons, Claudin takes his concerto for publication.
Israel will publish this, I promise.
A tragic misunderstanding occurs.
That's my music. I thought I told you to get out. You've stolen my music. Steve! Oh, he's stolen my music!
The sewers of Paris lead to refuge in catacombs beneath the opera. The reign of terror begins.
Christine Dubois will sing tomorrow night.
Madame Biancaroli and her maid have been murdered.
Murdered? You're not one of the police.
Don't be frightened. I'll watch over you. I've always watched over you. Come.
The fallen angel makes a heaven of his hell.
You'll love it here when you get used to the dark. And you'll love the dark, too. It's friendly. The music comes down and the darkness distills it. And life here is like a resurrection.
A ritual is reenacted. And the finale was guaranteed to bring down the house. A sneak preview went badly. Then, the first night audience in Chicago howled with laughter. Had the Phantom jinx struck again? Universal management prayed. Their prayers were answered, just as Carl Laemmle's had been in 1925. Phantom of the Opera was an immediate smash, breaking records around the country. Box office receipts poured in.
The most they'd ever made. Even any Durbin film had never made the money that Phantom made.
Phantom went on to win 2 Academy Awards for color cinematography and art direction. For audiences who didn't see the picture in theaters, Basil Rathbone played the Phantom, with Susanna Foster and Nelson Eddy in a ghost-to-ghost broadcast on the Lux Radio Theater.
Take off the mask or I'll take it off for you!
Why did you do it? Now you see my face.
The only real story that I have about the Phantom of the Opera is that when I was about 6 or 7, one Halloween, he called Universal and he borrowed the cape and the hat. And 2 of my friends and I dressed as goblins and hid under this cape. He would knock on the door and there he was standing there doing this insane Halloween poem, and then he would open up his cape and we would jump out and say, "Trick or treat, trick or treat."